Good day. Welcome to another edition of Chef MBJ and cooking. Cooking at home? Yeah, well, today we're actually cooking in an office. We have a office space luncheon that we're doing, and we're making some dumplings, sauces, and we're going to make some stir-fried chicken, some fried rice, again, cauliflower rice, and some warm noodles. Let's get started. So I got some onion from yesterday left that we're going to use, and we're going to keep cutting. We got mushrooms, we have eggplant, we got peppers, and we got carrots. And I'm trying to utilize, again, I'm all about repurposing and utilizing stuff we can use from previous cooking experiences. If we've been cooking or we have some leftovers, how do we repurpose them so we don't waste food? So anyway, I'm going to cut up a bunch of vegetables for the stir fry because I like a lot of vegetables. And because I'm only making it for a small party of 6 to 8 guests, where the more items I put in it, the less I need of each. So the more variety you offer, the less quantity you'll need. What am I saying? So I have a whole thing of mushrooms, but realistically, because of it, I'm only going to put a few mushrooms in it. And I'm going to use mushrooms in other dishes too. So we have mushrooms going. We have snow peas. I try to go to farmers markets when I can. And if you can go to a farmer's market, you're really good. So needless to say, I always take my snow peas. If you're going to blanch them, that's fine. I don't always blanch them because I kind of like that little bit of a crunch, and they're going to steam with what we're cooking. And so I'm taking off the little pieces on the ends, and then if it runs, you'll see a piece at the end that holds the whole thing together. There's a little piece of fiber-like aspect on there. Now we're going to get started. We're going to do a little bit of zucchini. Okay. Why not put a little zucchini in our fried stir fry? Okay. And also, like the onions, I'm going to do a little bit of a thicker cut. Not too thick because we want the zucchini to cook fairly quickly, which is what stir frying is all about. So we got some nice green in there as well. Now I'm going to do my peppers. And I'm only going to do half a red. Gonna take that off, right? So we have our peppers. Water's boiling in the back. So we have noodles that I have to put in for my lo mein noodles. I want to put those in real quick. And it says cook it for, let's see, 4 minutes. All right, we're going to cook that for 4 minutes. So, hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes. Okay, so that's in there for 4 minutes. All right, so now we have our peppers. Some people like to take the little rib out on the inside. When I was a younger cook, we used to do that all the time, depending on the restaurants we worked at. So now we got peppers. So I'm going to cut these on the bias a little bit because I want a little bit of a different shape going into our stir fry. But again, I'm leaving them pretty good bite-sized pieces, a little bigger, because I like them to crunch a little bit. You've heard of the term al dente, obviously, firm to the bite. We like our noodles. No, I'm sorry. We like our vegetables, excuse me. We like our vegetables a little bit al dente when we stir fry. They have a little crunch, nice sear on the outside. We're going to do the same thing. We have our pepper, yellow pepper. Add a little bit more color to it. So we're going to have a beautiful array of vegetables. You got to remember that as the vegetables wilt down a little bit, that everything's going to get smaller. So it may look like it's a lot of product, but it's really not in the long run. I'm going to go with our carrots. We have some carrots already shredded, I know. So I'm going to grab these. We have shredded carrots, which will look great in there. So what I want to show you is, here's our beautiful array of stir-fry vegetables. We have onions, mushrooms, peppers, red and yellow, zucchini, you can add squash. I have sugar snap peas and some shredded carrots. That's all we have to do is just saute it up in the wok or in the saute pan. Now we're going to get our sauce for the stir fry ready next. So now we're going to make our sauce that we're going to use for the stir fry. We have some fresh ginger. I don't know if all of you are familiar with the peeling method for ginger, but I always learned years ago to use a teaspoon, because it takes off the least amount when you're peeling ginger. You want to add these flavors that are going to help accent and lift the flavors, cohesively. It's a big deal these days, and I think it's always been, with, putting flavors together. I think that's always been a chef's challenge, and a fun part of it is being able to find out what flavors and textures go together. What's great about using the microplaner also, when you're grating up your ginger, is the fibers of the ginger don't get into it. So it's really nice that you don't have the fibers inside. So we have grated ginger, and we're gonna just scrape off the rest of it. Now we're gonna add fresh garlic. Garlic, ginger in there. Now we're going to use Japanese brewed soy sauce, organic, and we're going to add a little bit of that. We're going to finish our bottle of rice wine vinegar that I see here. Boop, 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 boop. All right. We're going to add a little bit of hoisin. Hoisin, if you're not familiar with it, is more like almost like a Japanese barbecue sauce. Really, really thick and has a really dark, rich flavor. Adds a lot of good taste to your stir fry. So we have some of that. We're going to add a splash of sesame. Just a splash, because we're going to put those on the noodles later. We're going to, of course, add our salt. And fresh cracked black pepper. Okay. Now, this is your chance if you want. You want to add some honey to sweeten it up. You want to add oranges and some fresh orange juice in there. That's great too. You can do all those things. But it's really up to you. So here we go. Look at that. That's ready. And we're going to put that aside and reserve it for when our chicken is ready and the vegetables are ready, and then we put it all together. I found some bok choy in the fridge, and I said, you know what, let's do a little bit of stir-fry bok choy with the noodles. And I said, we'll do a noodle salad kind of thing, but a warm noodle salad with bok choy and sesame. And I know you people that work during the day or work, a lot, and you find it hard to repurpose. But if you have a chance on a Saturday or a Sunday, then let's just do it, Otherwise, I got you. You can buy some of this stuff already prepped for you if you want while you're in the grocery store. So, with that said, we have our bok choy, we have our vegetables over here. Now we're going to clean up and get ready for our chicken. Okay, so I have some organic chicken tenders here. All right. So if you notice something, and I did it on purpose, I prepped and cut my vegetables, everything first, so I didn't dirty my cutting board. You can have, if you only have 1 or 2 cutting boards. Now, the other day we discussed taking a chicken tender and taking the actual tender off of it. If we haven't done that before, we'll show you again. Hopefully you guys can all watch and see. And we're just going to take the tender piece off. And if you can scrape it down, even better. If sometimes it breaks off, it happens. Like in that case. Here we go. Here's another one. So again, it's the tendon that goes throughout the actual chicken tender. See? And here I am. I just pulled it off. Shave it down a little bit, as we say with the knife here, you know. Just run it down. And there we go. All done. And now we have our chicken tenders to cut up. All right. And then the other piece we're going to use is our chicken breast. All those hot chickens and various other things. You'll see what I'm saying. Anyway, so this chicken is the tenders and all done. All right. So we cleaned off the tenders and we're going to chop all this up. And then we're going to be right back to show you after this is done. Well, actually, we'll be right back and I'll show you after I have everything on the cutting board. We'll chop it up and get it ready. Now we're all set, ready to rock and roll. Here we go. So we have chicken breast and chicken tenders, and I probably have about almost 5 pounds. So I'm just cutting the chicken tenders into about an inch, maybe a little bit, give or take, you know, depending on the pieces, but about an inch thick, right, for the tenders. And we're all gonna just go through the whole thing that way. All the chicken is gonna be cut up the same size so that it cooks it evenly all around. I'm gonna dust it with some cornstarch and flour and season it with salt and pepper. Okay? So you can marinate this too. If you don't wanna add the cornstarch and flour to put it in the air fryer, if you're not gonna do it and you don't wanna cook it in the air fryer, go ahead and stir fry it, and you can just do it in a wok or a very heavy pan and saute it real quick, right? As we say, that's cooking term for cooking quick, right? Cut the chicken, get the chicken ready. We'll put it in the air fryer, get moving after we season it up and coat it. Then we're gonna go straight into cooking the vegetables and plating the food. I hope you guys caught the first episode on Going Solo Network on YouTube, and I hope you liked it. I'm waiting to see how many questions we have, or if you have any questions, you can just email me directly or go to our Instagram, Chef MBJ. Now we're gonna clean the cutting board because that's really important. We don't want any cross-contamination. Okay, so now we have our chicken. I'm gonna grab some cornstarch, which is what we use. But before I add the cornstarch, I want to season up this chicken. So we're gonna add some salt, some pepper. Back in the day, I would only use white pepper. I still prefer white pepper. I don't like seeing the black flakes all the time in my food. Depending on the dish, like if it's a steak, then I'll use black pepper or cracked black pepper, depending on it is. But most everything I did, and I still try to, I try to use white pepper. I don't like seeing the black flakes. So there was a chef I worked for in New York years ago who hated black pepper. He hated seeing the flakes in the food too, and I think I picked it up from him. Thank you, TB. Anyway. Here we go. So I'm putting 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of AP flour. Let's go 3. All right, because we got about 5 pounds of chicken. So we have 5 pounds of chicken. Now this is the cornstarch. This is what really makes a nice 3 helping teaspoons of cornstarch. What's going to happen is that the cornstarch and the flour develop a nice crust on the chicken, and it'll help dry out a little bit on the outside. It'll help sear it so it makes a nice little crust. You're familiar with fried chicken. Everybody has their theories on what makes skin or various parts of the chicken, you know, nice and crispy, and everybody has a method to keeping it, you know, nice and crispy. So I have always found if you use arrowroot, cornstarch, tapioca starch, these starches, potato starch is really good. These kind of starches, other than flour, the only reason we're using flour is because that's all we have here other than the cornstarch, but we're mixing it all up, and it'll develop a nice crust on the outside when you stir fry it, specifically fry it, or like we're gonna try and do today, we're gonna make a nice air fry chicken. So as you can see, and it's just a light dusting, you know, it's not too heavy, it's not too thick on there, but it's going to develop a nice little crust, a little crunch, as we say, and it'll be really yummy. So let's get moving along, guys, because lunch service is very soon, and we're going to do this in batches in the air fryer for obvious reasons, right? Because this air fryer is a very small one, not like mine at the house, which I love. If anybody from Cuisinart watches, I love your air fryer. Please, I love the air fryer from Cuisinart. Anyway, or if you have an air fryer that's rectangle that you think is going to surface better, I'm in. I'll try it out. Send it over. Okay, so here we go. We have, it's called Chefman Air Fryer. And again, this is my first time using it. So this is what they put. This is how they do it. So we're gonna, this doesn't really make sense, but I think this paper, well, I thought the paper should go on the bottom. What do I know? Anyway, we're gonna try this out. I'm gonna spread it out, put some chicken in there. I think we'll do it in 2 or 3 batches. Hopefully it doesn't take forever, but let's see. Let's test the first batch, okay? We did a small layering. Let's check it out. Here we go. And we press chicken, and we check timer. It says 22 minutes. Let's check it after 15 and start. Let's see what happens, okay? And meanwhile, we're gonna put this in the fridge to keep it nice. Ready. Now we're gonna start cooking our stir-fry vegetables. Okay, so here we go. We're back now, and we're gonna start stir fry. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna put 2 pans together. I got 2 pans going here, only because it's a smaller establishment, and I'm using induction burners. So I want you to be aware of what's going on. So I'm gonna do the vegetables first, and here's our sauce that we made earlier with the ginger, the garlic, the soy, rice wine vinegar, sesame. And what I added to it was 1 orange, and I segmented it, and the juice. I feel like that orange, you know, flavor, so we're gonna have some cashews in here eventually as well. So it's kind of like a mix of all the really good stir-fry items that people like. When I want orange chicken, or I want cashew chicken, or I want this. So it's kind of like you're able to put all your favorites in one dish, but not going too far. Okay? That tastes good. Okay. Needless to say, so we got that going. We got a little bit of oil, right? These pans are non-stick, which is great. And we're also gonna go, right? So I always like to start off with my onions. And you can hear that, right? You hear that? Onions going. So we'll go onions first in this pan. And in this pan, I'm gonna put the mushrooms, because I like to sear my mushrooms, okay? I like to get them nice and hot and seared on the outside. And I also made some extra ginger here, so I can put that in with the onions as they cook. Okay. All right. Let's get this going. Okay. So we got stir fry going. Smell that ginger. It smells delicious. A little more oil on the mushrooms. They take a lot, mushrooms, you know. Okay, so we have peppers going, I'm sorry, onions going. Now I'm gonna add my peppers. Okay, red. All right, red and yellow peppers. That's cooking up. If you want, you can put a cover on it. I don't suggest. I really like if you can use a wok, that's the best. Woks are great. I like to clean up a little bit as we go here. All right. So, I apologize for the first video on the editing, but I'm trying to get better. It's tough doing the editing. I will definitely say that much. So you can season it a little bit now if you want. A couple pinches of salt and pepper if you want, just a pinch, because remember we have the sauce as we're gonna add that when we incorporate everything at the end, right? Okay, so we got stir fry going on the veg. I feel like this pan is horrible. Over here, I have no idea why. But anyway, all right, so that's going. Let's see. A little bit longer. Okay. And a pinch of salt. All right, let's see what else we got. We got covered. We're gonna cover it up and let that steam for a second in there just to help it cook faster. Alrighty. I like it. All right, see, I covered it so that the heat would get in there quicker, and the steam, which is created, is steaming a little bit of the vegetables to help cook them through faster. Okay, see all that steam that came off? There we go. All right, and now we can just, there we go. See, now we're getting some color. A little veg going. Okay, so remember, we talked about carryover cooking. So we're gonna put this into the bowl because we got more to cook. We're doing it in batches. See this? That's flavor. Don't touch it. Don't worry about it yet. So we're gonna put our zucchini in now. Okay. We're gonna put the zucchini in and get that started. Put a little dab of oil more, just a touch. All right, so that's going. And then I'm gonna break up the snow peas so they are a little more bite-sized for this group. Oh, I didn't get that one. There we go. Now, so I usually like to serve them whole, but I'll be honest with you. When people live to eat, it's one thing. When people eat to live, it's a different story, right? So we got ginger we're adding. Gonna add our ginger. We're gonna cover that up because we want that to steam a little bit for a second. All right. This is fun. We're having fun, right, guys? Mushrooms, cashews. So I put in some cashews, right? So what I did was I kind of like just put the back of the pot and pans, you know, we use. To just kind of break them up a little bit. Like you can do that with your fingers too, you know. It's fine. Whatever makes you happy. Big pieces, little pieces. You can use candied ones if you want, but I feel like we already have some sweetness in there with the orange and a little splash of honey, and the ginger's, you know, sweet and a little bit of spice to it, you know. Anyway, I feel there's a lot of flavor. And here we go. We got about 2.5 minutes left on that chicken. I'm curious to see how it turns out. We're experimenting live. All right. Okay. So let's see. All right. Look at that, huh? All right. No, that's going to take a few more minutes. But look at that. Bottom of the pan there. Let's get some of that flavor. So you can add water. You can add a little bit of sake. You can add wine. You can add whatever you want to get that off, because what's going to happen next is all that flavor on the bottom is going to come off. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of water. But see, all that flavor we want off and going into the sauce, into the food, right? There we go. So we're gonna get those going, keep those going. That guy jumped out. Fell out, jumped out. Okay. There we go. All right, minute and 30 seconds left. Finally, we got some going on the mushrooms here. I think I'm gonna change it up and add the mushrooms to the noodles with the, what do you call it? With the bok choy. I think that's a better idea. But we'll see. Now, most importantly, I gotta show you something. Rice, fried rice. I always make it with leftover rice and I stick it in the freezer. So, why do you stick it in the freezer, Michael? That's the way to make fried rice. You're gonna love it. Okay. So, all right. It's also a way to repurpose leftovers. All right, so now we're gonna add our carrots at the end of this here. And a little bit, we'll throw our cashews in there. Okay. Oh, air fryer's done. See that, can't put too much in here, but I'll show you. Chicken came out. It's almost there. I gotta add a few more minutes though, but we're gonna go for another 5 more minutes. So, all right, we got our veg all together. We'll put all that together and we'll toss it. Look at all that beautiful veg. See? We got carrots, onions, peppers, zucchini, snow peas. Oh, beautiful. And some carrot trees. Okay. Now, a little seasoning for here, right? A little bit. There we go. Done. Okay. So now we're going to reserve that while we get the rice going. Okay. Perfect. Keep that, like I said, right? Because we have the sauce. So I'm going to boil the sauce, right? To get all the flavor on the bottom of the pan. I don't like to waste flavor. As you can see, we have those orange segments. You can add as many as you want. Okay, we'll just bring this up to a quick simmer. Okay, and we got the chicken going, and let's see where we're at. Here we go. See? Broth's boiling. The sauce is boiling, simmering, and we're going to take it off and put it back in there, and done. Now, we got that done. That's done. Got our rice, frozen rice, right? We're going to put it straight in the pan and break it up. Okay? Frozen rice is the way to go. Again, it's repurposing a product that you already have done. And leftovers, never throw your white rice away. You order Chinese food, save the white rice, stick it in the freezer, make fried rice out of it later on. That's what you got to do. In fact, I'm going to show you some more. So this is some rice we have in the freezer. See? So, because I know this group, they're going to eat all the rice. Okay, so needless to say, we got the stir-fry rice going, right? We're going to add half our vegetables. Why only adding half? Because the other half's going to go into our chicken. Oh my goodness, this looks so yummy. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay. A little bit of the liquid. Trying not to put the orange in here. I want to save that for the chicken. Right? Why am I doing this? Because we're gonna make the fried rice. Now I grew up and I noticed that fried rice was not dark. My fried rice was growing up where I learned it was actually very white with a lot of vegetables, very light. And it reminds me, we got to add an egg to this. Keep it going, right? So let's see if we have any eggs in this kitchen. I don't even know. Find out in a minute. All right, just kidding. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, this fried rice looks yummy, mommy. So good. So good. Okay, that's really good. Sorry, that's delicious. And we do have eggs. Yay! All right, so let's do this right. 1 egg, 2 egg. All right, eggs got to be scrambled up. Okay, hold on, let me move everything over. Okay. There we go. Right? Keep it all working. Okay. That's in there. And, okay. Scrape all that off. Let's go check. Okay, so we got the egg going for the stir fry. And we're scrambling it up real quick. Here we go. Right? Seasoned it up with salt and pepper. Right? Before we put it in, all set. And we're going to add that to the stir fry. So now we have fried rice with the fried egg and everything else all set, ready to go. Okay, we reserve that, put it in the bowl, and call it a day. All right, now we got the chicken going, and now we're also going to get going with the bok choy. All right, we're going to put that into a hot pan, wilt that down, hit that with some sesame oil, and put the noodles on there too. Okay? All right. We got the noodles cooked. Trying to clean up a little bit, right, as we go. Okay, bok choy is cooking up. You hear it cooking up? We're gonna add a little salt and a little bit of white pepper. Okay. Okay, let's keep it going. All right. We're going. We gotta move. Lunch service. Let's go. All right. Stir fry. We got the noodles. Bok choy, bean sprouts, salt and pepper, a little more salt. Noodles. Noodles are gonna get some sesame oil because she wants sesame. So you know she likes it. And put a splash of sesame oil there. So good. We have the noodles. Noodles are done. Quick. There we go. Sesame, bok choy. Let's put it all together. Very simple, very healthy, very light. Beautiful. And we're gonna garnish it with those little crispy shiitake mushrooms that we did. I love it. Look at that. How gorgeous does that look? We're going to put that down. Okay. We got fried rice already done, sitting there, ready to rock and roll. If you want, you can garnish it with a little bit of scallions. That's fine too. We got the vegetables that we did the stir-fried chicken with, right? We have our chicken, the stir-fried chicken, our air-fried chicken, right? Look at that, right? Add a little more sauce if you want. Okay, and there you go. Let's see what kind of container we're going to serve that one in today. Ready. I love it. Exactly. All right. So here's our final presentation of dumplings with a vinegar soy sauce, homemade stir-fry rice. Looks great. Noodles with bok choy, sprouts, and sesame seeds, and a little bit of shiitake mushrooms, and stir-fried chicken, as we said before, with peppers, onions, zucchini, sugar snap snow peas, excuse me, and some orange. Enjoy. See you next time. And don't forget to email us. Looking forward to seeing you soon.